Hello, welcome to Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Coy, and wow, we got an absolutely wonderful show coming your way today. We're going to talk about something that I think everybody needs to be aware of. Uh, it's about this thing called thankful, grace, gratitude, just being able to show kindness and respect. And I think the world need a whole lot more of that right now. So we got an all-star panel here today to discuss that topic, and also let the audience know what they're grateful for. Especially, we got Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of days, so I'm excited about this one, Michelle. I'm excited about the show.
I'm excited too. We got an all-star panel here. I feel like we're doing a hot topic show, but we're really not. We definitely got an all-star panel. And, we were just talking before the show how this holiday just came so quickly. But, Thanksgiving it's great holiday, and just the concept of gratitude is really important, not just on Thanksgiving, but every day. So really excited about the show. We can't wait to get to it. And audience, please join us with your questions.
So wherever you're watching this at, whichever platform you're watching this on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to that platform, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we will get you an answer. Michelle, I'm ready to get started. Let's introduce this panel.
Well, yes. So the title of today's show is Embracing an Attitude of Gratitude. And our guests today are cognitive behavioral coach, keynote speaker, author, and an advisor, Dr. Michael Mantell, entrepreneur, transformational business and life strategist, advocate, professor, life coach, minister. Wow. Serial entrepreneur and a founder of Trinity International University of Ambassadors and ambassador of the UN, Ambassador Dr. Jacquelyn Mohair, president and CEO of At Your Home Familycare, director, board of Palomar Healthcare District, the Honorable Lori Edwards Tate. And we have a surprise guest later on as well. So guests, welcome to the show. And we're going to talk about what is the true meaning of gratitude, how gratitude promotes joy and healing, especially during difficult times. Some people have trouble being grateful, especially when they're going through trials and tribulations, especially around the holiday season, and discuss the various pillars of gratitude. There's just so many more. So let's get started. So first of all, welcome guests to the show.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start. What is the definition of gratitude personally to each one of you? Let's start with you, Honorable Lori Edwards Tate.
Well, that's a very good question. What is gratitude? And in my view, gratitude is a way of life. It's a personal choice. As you mentioned, things will happen that are good and not so good. We have very challenging times. But I believe that gratitude is a mindset and a personal choice to say that there are negatives in this world, and I choose to view the positives. And what I like to try to do, I can't always succeed, but I try to do, is basically there's going to be darkness, and what I feel committed to is being light.
What about you, Dr. Michael Mantell? What does gratitude mean to you personally?
Well, it's not, I'll start off with that. It's not just about feeling thankful. It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity that can transform your life and the life of those around you. I love acronyms, and so I came up with one. I posted it the other day, and it says that grateful is gratefully radiating appreciation, thankfulness, and everlasting fulfillment that unleashes love. That's gratitude. That's grateful. We know that gratitude has become the new watchword in medicine. The new watchword in medicine, and that means it's been proven, it's been demonstrated to improve our feelings of happiness and well-being and our self-esteem and empathy, and increases our mental strength. It even helps us sleep better. I sign every communication, and have for many years now, with a simple grateful, Michael. And I'll say I'm grateful to being a part of this very esteemed team.
Wow, I like those acronyms. Dr. Jacquelyn Mohair, what does gratitude mean to you personally?
Well, personally, like you said, it's more than being thankful. But I must say that I am thankful, humbled, having a state of humility. It comes with many different emotions of your mindset, how you are, you know, being in a positive state of mind, just being humble, being grateful for where I am, knowing that things could be worse. But I'm grateful for the state of being to where I am now, with, having family, being able to enjoy those precious moments, some of the things that we take for granted, learning to relax and enjoy the moment and not be so busy until I miss out on those precious moments. So, gratitude for me, it's just being thankful, um, remaining positive, showing the love and care, not only to those around me, but to the community as well.
Thank you, Dr. Mohair. Dr. James Cooley, what does gratitude mean to you?
Well, Dr. Mohair just hit it on the head. It's being not taking things for granted, like just little simple things, not taking them for granted because everything means something, and also it's showing a sense of respect to everyone you come in contact with, because um, you you might have been put in that spot that particular time to bring some excitement and bring joy to whoever you are talking with or around. So it's just I try to take all of these things in consideration on how a person might be feeling or how I can chip in and help make them feel better just by kindness, uh, respect, and not talking about just being honest. So it means a whole lot of things to me, and also thankful as well because God gave us an opportunity to be here.
Mhm.
And I'm thankful and grateful every single day.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. James Cooley. This holiday season, Thanksgiving's it's coming. And people go around the table seeing what they're thankful for. But there are people out there that are struggling. There are people who are hurting, and they may not see what they can possibly be grateful for. So my question to all of you is, what advice or how important is to show gratitude throughout the year, not only when times are great, but also when times are bad? I mean, people have lost loved ones, or they're going through illnesses, or, they're just struggling in whatever way financially. There's so many different ways. So let's start with you, Dr. Mantell. What are your thoughts on this? How do people express gratitude going through these things?
Well, saying thank you is the easy way. But most people just sort of toss out that thank you and they're not even thinking about it. We have many ways of beginning to understand that. Let me get a little psychological here. The space between the stimulus, bump, ba bump, bump, and the response, bump, bump, that space gives us power. So when someone does something, instead of just reacting, take a moment and tell yourself how much you appreciate that. And the other hand, when you're coming up to a doorway, let's say, it takes an amazing ability to just hold the door for someone. No, it doesn't. It takes a heart. So I think that the idea of looking within and appreciating the good that comes to you, but that you can give others, I don't want to take too much time now. I'll come back to it, but I want to tell you about a study that was done in the 1990s of 700 nuns. And it is a powerful study of what that gratitude, that looking at the space between the stimulus and the response, wait, stop for a moment, let the car in front of me go ahead, what that can do for your well-being.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to tell a story, but that's going to be later on. Dr. Mohair, what are your thoughts on just expressing gratitude, especially when, how to say, just the walls will keep closing in on you, or you just had a horrible year, a horrible week, or a holiday such as this brings back painful memories? What are your thoughts, and what are your comments on that?
Well, let me just say this, Dr. Cooley. For me, when things are coming at me all at once, I have to stop, breathe, and reflect, and put myself in remembrance of the good times. And just know that these trials, they come, and these trials come not to break me, but they come to build me. Meaning that whatever the situation is, I know that God can bring me through the situation. Early on, I may have had, real anxiety and just really, the pressures of life. But I think in knowing who you are in Him, and knowing that if it had not been for Him, where would you be? And so for me, just reflecting on the things that I've gone through, the things that He has brought me through, and taking a breather and knowing that this too shall pass. Hard days, tough days don't last always. Thank you, Dr. Mohair. Honorable Lori Edwards Tate, what are your thoughts on challenging times? People, we all go through them, but some people who are experiencing challenging times or have just gone through it, they don't have any joy in saying, what can they be grateful for?
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we hold that thought until after the break? So we're going to take a quick break, and Laura, we're going to come right back to you. So let's keep that in mind. Wherever you're watching us at, and you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break. How you doing out there? Hey, I'm Dr. James JC Coy, and I will be teaming up with Dr. Michael Mantell. Well, we're going to do a new series beginning November the 1st. It's going to be a 4-part series where we are going to talk about health 360 degrees, where we teach people how to just think of themselves. You get your mindset right and just think fitness. And we want everybody to dream big, think big, and be big. And we want everybody to be in their ultimate fitness condition, mind, body, and soul. So this show starts November the 1st, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Dr. Michael Mantell, world-renowned doctor that's doing so many great things, and myself, Dr. James JC Coy. So we want everybody to tune in to our show November the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. Who knows? Might be a permanent series. Dream big, think big, and be big. Dr. James JC Coy from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And as you see, this is an absolutely wonderful topic that we're talking about today. And all of these great, fine panelists are really bringing it. And so I tell you, just sit back, enjoy, because we got a lot more coming your way. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. I was asking Lori Edwards Tate, people are going through trials and tribulations, how they find the strength to be grateful if they're going through, or they're just I don't know, they're just having hard times. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you bring up a really important point, and I'm so glad that you did. Holidays and all the joy and the jingle bells and the turkeys. The fact of the matter is that special holidays can signal the fact that I call it the missing chair syndrome, that at a table, there's going to be at least one probably missing chair, and maybe more, of people we have loved and have lost. So my solution to that is accepting that and integrating that into the celebrations within my heart and in my mindset, and be grateful for the fact that I was able to have the type of family, the joy and those experiences that are no longer possible when people pass, and reinvent the holidays to mean other things that are going forward and forward moving. So, the thing that I'd like to mention too is that the integrity of gratitude is, recognizing others and other people's abilities and other people's kindness. And then within that is the humility to take that and look at that beyond ourself, putting on, that saying about walking in someone else's shoes, seeing through someone else's eyes. That's also a choice. And I call that empathy. It's not something called sympathy, it's empathy, meaning that we are all connected, that these conditions of being a human being apply to us all. Therefore, the importance of the golden rule, the kindness, as was mentioned, letting the other person by on a freeway. The thing I also really like to do is say thank you a lot, or say I appreciate you. And I too like the practice of writing with gratitude, because people don't realize sometimes how important they are. And I call that letting folks know they are relevant, that they have a purpose in this life, the impact that they can have not only on me, but everyone whose life that they touch.
Thank you, Lori. Joshua Goldsmith. So we had a special guest today, financial consultant Joshua Goldsmith from Goldsmith Financial. How are you, Joshua?
I'm doing great. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing great. We're talking about embracing an attitude of gratitude. What are your thoughts on, like again, there's so many things going on in this world, whether, there's wars, there's loss of family, there's just a lot of things. What is your thoughts on how to embrace an attitude of gratitude when these things are happening?
Great question. From a financial standpoint, I could speak from, building wealth, which is what I'm talking about on a daily basis. How does gratitude fit into that? How do we build wealth if we're not grateful for what we have first? I'm being grateful for what we have, understanding that maybe if we're borrowing to get to where we think we need to go instead of actually saving to pay for it, that's not really building wealth. Being grateful for the things that we have is really the foundation of wealth building. Patience is a very, very big attribute that we have to have during the whole process. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for my wife, but my patients are tried on a daily basis, but it's not because of her, it's because of me. It's because when you're bringing two human beings together, you're on two times now.
Mhm.
And you have to, continually to work on that love and that nurturing and that compassion for each other and empathy.
Thank you.
Michelle, I wanted to share something very, very interesting. It's on point in terms of Thanksgiving. We know it's no coincidence that the United States, which was founded by Puritans, that in many ways that we look at them, we say they were Calvinists, but they were steeped in the Hebrew Bible. They created a day called Thanksgiving, recognizing the role, the presence of God in American history. And each of us so far today has said, thank God for this, thank God for that, and so forth and so on. On October 3rd, 1863, I think it was, at the height of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln issued a Thanksgiving proclamation, thanking God that though we are at war with ourselves, though we're having all this difficulty, there are still blessings from which both sides could express gratitude. A fruitful harvest, no foreign invasion, and so on. And he went on to describe quite a great insight into why we even have Thanksgiving. But let's not forget that this is tied to a biblical recognition of the role that the one above plays in our lives. And even when things are going bad, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
But as Moses said in the Bible, the bigger danger is to not be grateful when things are going well. Look how good I'm doing. Look at the wealth I created. Nuh-uh. At those times, be sure to be thankful as well to the one above.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mantell. Dr. James Cooley, your favorite, one of your favorite quotes is service before self. So can you discuss how incorporating acts of service into Thanksgiving celebrations enhances the sense of gratitude and community involvement?
Well, as you just mentioned, serves before self. I believe that we have to take everything in consideration, even before ourselves, because if we just focus on our one self, you become complacent, you become greedy, and you miss all the things that I believe that are important. I'm talking about bringing joy and happiness to other folks. I mean, I've been like this for quite some time, and I believe that I was placed on this earth is to serve others, but also enjoy the fruits of happiness from others that we come across. I mean, just seeing a smile on somebody else's face, that's payment for me for whatever I'm doing. I mean, I'm talking about that's how I'm built right now. But it took trials and tribulations, as what Dr. Mohair mentioned a few minutes ago about trials. We always going to have trials, and then during the time you have trials, you have tribulations. That means trials upon trials.
Mhm.
But we have to stay focused, and we have to remember that we're not in this by ourselves.
Mhm.
We have to be able to see good in everything that we are confronted with, and I believe that we have to be able to just take the self pity, put you to the side, endure whatever you going through, because in every lesson that you're going through, there is a blessing that's going to come out of it. And we have to figure out how to do that.
I
Thank
share
you.
with every one of my clients a simple notion. Everything doesn't happen to you. Everything happens for you. And when you see it that way, you immediately begin looking for, well, how could this be for me? What's good for me? But at least your mind is heading in that direction.
Thank you. Thank you both. So let's talk about different cultures. All you worldly travelers here on the panel, you've gone to you've been to different countries, been around different families, different friends who are different cultures. So gratitude is perceived and expressed in different cultures, sometimes in different ways. So can you, let's start with you, Laurie. In your experience, how is gratitude perceived and expressed in different cultures? And we'll just go with that.
Okay, well, I'll start out with merci and muchas gracias. And, the one thing that's universal is the smile. No matter where you go, happiness is expressed that way. It doesn't matter what country, what race, what belief system. I think thumbs up is probably something that everybody understands as well. But I also appreciated JC's comment about service above self. I remember when I was about 5 years old or so, 6 years old, and I had a cold, so I had to stay in the car when my mother went grocery shopping. And I wrote a little story, which I still have, about, we can see somebody pushing their shopping carts with their children, but we don't know whether or not that person is suffering, has a health problem, or perhaps even has something like cancer. So I kind of feel as if I've always had this sense of, we never really know what the other person is going through. And I think sometimes we look too much to what we see in front of us and not as much about what we need to be more intuitive about. And that's why I like the golden rule so much, the doing unto others. And even during times and certain words come to my mind, such as empathy, such as humility, such as, gratitude, and also forgiveness. Because people are going to do things that are upsetting to us, unfair to us, unjust. How are we going to respond to them? So by being grateful, first of all, for being alive, for what we have, perhaps living in this country where there's freedom, still freedom, and the idea of not taking these things for granted is, I think, a very big step. The other thing I'd like to conclude with is that I feel an obligation if somebody does something kind, or you get a Starbucks coffee and the server is just really helpful, letting them know they are relevant by saying thank you, or this is a great cup of coffee, because so many people feel lost, especially as the economy, jobs are, people are being let go in major jobs, major corporations. To have and develop a sense around ourselves and extend it to others, letting them know that they matter, that they are appreciated, that they are relevant, can sometimes be the very thing that individual needs to push forward.
Thank you, Lori. Joshua Goldsmith, you mentioned you have a question for Dr. Michael Mantell. Please address that.
I do have a question, and Dr. Mohair, but Dr. Mantell, the doctors, you can, but maybe I'd like to hear from both of you, actually. I mean, my question is, what do you think it is as our society, when we focus on gratitude? The real focus is about once a year, right? I mean, we're, across the board, Thanksgiving's coming up. What are you thankful for? What is it that our society only focuses on once a year? Can we incorporate the feeling? How can we do it on a daily basis? And to play the little devil's advocate, why is it important?
Dr. Mohair, you want to go first?
Well, for me, Mr. Goldsmith, I try to practice it every day. Just being thankful, being grateful, because, this gift of life, it is a gift that is given to us. So I try to be thankful. I try to show gratitude. I try to treat others like I want to be treated. And I believe, as the Honorable just spoke a moment ago, sharing and sharing that love, that gratitude, letting people know that you appreciate them and be genuine in that, going that extra mile. When she talked about the Starbucks coffee, a lot of times when I'm in the line of Starbucks coffee, I let the waiter know how great they are. And a lot of times I pay it forward. The person behind me, I go ahead and I pay for their coffee, or whatever the case may be, just showing love and showing gratitude that, God, he still works through people. And the love is still here, even though the world is growing wax and it's growing cold. And it's because there's a lot of bitterness out there. There's a lot of people caught up in their own little world, simply because a lot of them have not been shown love. And for whatever reason, that bitterness has grown. So I try on a daily basis to share the love. And I start out in my home. And from there, just go abroad, wherever I am, letting people know that I appreciate them. I'm grateful for the moment, just having that positive attitude and sharing that love.
I'll answer that question for you, Josh, but I think we need a break.
We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back and we're going to get Dr. Michael Mantell point of view on that one. Wherever you're watching this at, you see that this is absolutely wonderful. And you can always be part of the conversation. All you have to do is just go to the platform. Ask any question that you might have. And I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me. And I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Coy. As my panel here, I tell you, a bunch of wonderful, wonderful folks that are really, I'm talking about putting it out there. Thankful, grateful, attitude, just having the right mindset or developing the right mindset. This is some of the lessons that these great folks, this great panel, is putting out there. And so I tell you, I hope you are enjoying it just as well as I am. So if you want to be part of the conversation, it's still not too late. Just go to the platform that you're on and we'll get you an answer. Now, Joshua, you had asked a question and I believe that Dr. Mohair answered your question superbly. Can you ask that question again, Dr. Michael Mantell?
Absolutely. My question is, what do you think it is about our society that we focus on gratitude only once a year, and how can we incorporate feeling grateful into our daily lives? To play a little devil's advocate, why is it important?
Okay, great question. And during the break, I took the break and thought about how grateful, genuinely, authentically, honestly grateful I am to be sitting here. And I just want to express that. I don't mean to be cheesy about it. It's just true. Let me answer your question, Josh. First of all, I think that many people do feel gratitude throughout every day. In my religious practice and Jewish, we have the practice of the first thought, the first word, the first thing we do when we wake up in the morning is to say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for waking me up. Thank you for my body, for my family, for whatever it may be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have the practice of saying at least 100 times a day, blessings, 100 times a day, to be thankful and grateful and to be feeling blessed for something. I want to just pick up on something that Dr. Mohair said. The world is hurting so badly, and it's hurting more and more. And it's because many people are not feeling love, are not feeling appreciation, approval, admiration, acceptance, the 4 pillars of gratitude: appreciation, approval, acceptance, and admiration. They don't feel that. They feel torn down, sandpapered by life, second-class citizens because of their color of their skin, their religious beliefs, whatever it may be, their financial status. And they're none of that. And so I think that we need to do a much, much, much better job of helping people feel accepted regardless. I've said for decades, this is very me. We don't need a president who knows about the economy and world wars and then transportation. We need a president who knows how to bring people together. That's what we need a president for, who knows how to bring people together. And I feel we will have more gratitude then.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mantell. Yes, personal and professional relationships, those are so important. Those are so important. I remember, when someone tells you remember how the littlest thing, a comment someone makes, can have a lasting impression for the rest of your life. It could be something so simple. I remember when a friend of mine growing up, she said, "Michelle, I love when people call me, because it makes me feel like they're thinking about me, that I'm special to them, for them to go and reach out just to say hello." And that always stuck with me. No matter how busy you are, it's always good to maintain positive relationships, whether personally or professional. So let me ask each one of you, how have you expressed gratitude? Besides the things you've mentioned before, saying thank you, how do you express gratitude to your family and close friends? Let's start with you, Dr. Mohair.
Oh, well, I start out, first of all, letting them know that they're appreciated, that they are loved. And that's my family, my children in my home, letting them know that they are loved. And not only do I do that here, but outside. But I do that by sometimes just being creative, verbally saying it, but sometimes just doing the unexpected, surprising them, with different little, and it doesn't have to be anything expensive, something maybe I've just created, a little note, or I'm always doing a little something like that to let them know that they are loved and that they are appreciated. And I try to teach them to not only that we do that here, but go out into the world and share that as well.
Thank you, Dr. Mohair. Josh Goldsmith, how do you show gratitude to your family and friends that are in your life, or to strangers, period?
Well, first of all, prayer is one way that I show gratitude. And now that maybe my family can't see that, right? If I'm not with them, but that maybe they feel it. Expressing my love is really the central role of, or expression of my gratitude, where I just tell them I love them, I appreciate them, and try and make the world a brighter place. Because remember, like, our actions, that the things we tell other people, even holding a door for somebody, I mean, that is contagious, right? It goes on, and it incorporates into the next person's day. I love my daughter up. I text her all the time, and I tell her, I call her my little Poonchki, and make sure she knows that, she's encompassed by the unconditional love that I have for her and my mother and my friends, family.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable Lori Edwards Tate, how do you show gratitude to your family and close friends?
It's a multidimensional issue. I think it's imperative that the people who are our families, I think they deserve our very best, more than people who are not. To be honest with you, I think the tendency can be to take for granted the beauty of what they're really giving to us as members of our family. And I think that gratitude starts with ourselves, being grateful for what we have, truly appreciating what other people are doing to sacrifice, to provide, or to show love is, I think, an imperative. To show gratitude for that is a gift back to them. When we're in leadership roles, it's especially important to let people know what they are contributing to the organization, or the special skills or the special abilities that they may have. But while I have the opportunity, I would also like to advocate, since this is also touching upon my work of over 3 decades, seniors, disabled, persons with developmental disabilities, those who may be alone and disenfranchised. I would really like to advocate for including those people, even those stricken with Alzheimer's disease, in our family celebrations for as long as they're capable of doing so. We really need to keep in mind, it's not just for us when we are perfect. Family is family, and friends are friends, bring people together and also show compassion. So one of the things I'm grateful for is the opportunity to do a work that helps people like that, provide the caregivers and the opportunity for them to know that they are not alone, and that they are special, and that they are relevant. So I just really feel also, as Dr. Mantell mentioned, I too am very grateful for this platform and this particular show. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lori Edwards Tate. Dr. Mantell, I'm going to switch it up a bit. So expressing gratitude, it contributes to building, let me put it this way. Practicing gratitude has numerous psychological and physical benefits. Do you agree with that statement?
I do, and I'd love to go through that with you. I have a feeling Dr. Cooley wants to take a break, though. Am I right, Dr. Cooley?
You're right. We got to take a station break, but we're going to come back. Doc, okay, hold on to that question. Hold on to that question. I want to also say thanks to a few people that are watching and giving us a thumbs up. My brother, Randy Tony in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Mick Smith in San Diego, and Sylvia Quantone, which is in Temecula. Hey, thank you guys for the thumbs up and continue to watch. We're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back, and we can't let Dr. Mantell off the hook with that question. It's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break. Hello, I'm Dr. James JC Coy, the host of 836 television show, It's Your Life. And Dr. Michael Mantell, world famous, world renowned. I mean, this young man is doing so many great things. And we are doing a fourth part of this series, 22nd November, called E360 Health. And we got this absolutely fantastic guest that's going to be joining us. And Dr. Mike, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about this?
Absolutely. This 4-part series, 360 Degree Health, we have brought to you an episode on integrative medicine with Jessica Matthews. We've talked about active aging with Colin Milner. We talked about lifestyle medicine with Melissa Sunderman. We're going to be talking about the demographic that is most struggling today with emotional difficulties, anxiety, depression, anger, and that's our children and our teens. And we have the illustrious Hillary M. Bowers, MD, who's the Director of Behavioral and Mental Health Services at Children's Primary Healthcare Group, Rady's Hospital here in San Diego. She's going to cover all of your questions. We're going to take all of the concerns you have, and we're going to give you answers on how to help kids thrive through this very stressful and difficult time.
Wow, I'm looking forward to this show, Doc, because we got the holidays up on us, and a lot of times we kind of get sad and around that time. And Doc is going to help us out with all of those things. So I want everybody to tune in, 12 p.m. Pacific time, the 22nd, this Wednesday, for E360 Health.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And, I don't think I could have picked a better panel to talk about this great topic that we're talking about. And I do believe that we're going to do this again come close to Christmas time, because the Honorable Lori Edwards Tate already made that recommendation. And I'm taking up on that challenge, Lori. So this is absolutely fantastic. And this is what I believe the world needs. Yes. We need to talk about this a lot more. We need to not just talk about it, but we have to be about it. We have to show that we care and that we understand. It had to be about love, not hate. Love, not hate. And the world is turned upside down because there's a lot of hate in it. It's going to take people like what's on this panel and try to educate as many as we can. We're not going to reach everybody, but hopefully we'll touch a few. So, hey, that's what we're doing this show for. I want to turn it back over to you, Michelle. I know Dr. Mantell is on the hook for a question.
Yes, he's definitely on the hook. So, Dr. Mantell, practicing gratitude, we say it has numerous psychological and physical benefits. Can you tell us about these pillars of benefits that gratitude can bring us?
Let me do it as quickly as I can. I want to tell you very quickly about an incredible longitudinal study that involved 700 nuns at the School Sisters of Notre Dame in the United States. In the early 1990s, they did a study. But this study went back to 1930 when the Mother Superior asked these 700 nuns, who were in their 20s then, just to write a brief autobiographical account of their life and the reasons that they entered the convent. 1990, 60 years later, they looked at the biographies that they wrote, and they used a method to count positive and negative words. Lo and behold, the study was published in 2001 with incredible results. The more positive emotions, commitment, gratitude, happiness, love, hope that the nuns expressed in their autobiographical notes back in the 1930s, the more likely they were to be alive and to be well. This was incredible. We know that gratitude, positivity, hope, these sorts of positive emotions lead to higher levels of a variety of positive emotions. They keep us alert. They keep us away from toxicity and toxic emotions, more optimism, more happiness, more resilient to stress, more forgiving, more outgoing, less bothered by aches and pains. The list goes on. We don't have enough time. But let's just say that gratitude is medicine.
Wow, I love that. Gratitude is medicine. Did you hear that, audience? Gratitude.
I love it. I love it. Dr.
But-
Mike, you keep coming up with all of these things and all these acronyms. And
Well, I didn't come up with gratitude as medicine, but I use it a lot with my own clients.
But you know what? You know, we're the 6 of us here, and we're all going to, you know, have Thanksgiving this week. So for the sake of time, it's gonna go around the table and just say, quick, what was your most memorable Thanksgiving? And what are you grateful for? We'll go around the table, 1 minute or less. Let's start with you, Dr. Jacquelyn Mohair. Memorable Thanksgiving, and what are you grateful for?
I would say one of the most memorable Thanksgivings was all of us gathered at the family home with all the siblings. And, you know, it's just a sense of love and appreciation. And during that time, being able to just give back to the community by the end of the day. So that morning we would gather for breakfast and just show love, share love, and then just come together and just do a community event where we just share that love with others. And I would say that was pre-COVID that we did that event.
Thank you, Dr. Mohair. Joshua Goldsmith, memorable Thanksgiving.
Well, that was back in college, Michelle.
College.
Okay. there were like 24 of us, and it was a potluck, and we all brought something to Thanksgiving. And man, it was just such a warm feeling of you know, friendship in the air. You know, being with my closest 24 friends, right? But I mean, you know, we had all hung out together. We were all, you know, very, very close knit group. And, you know, we had a food fight at the end of it where we took the mashed potatoes and we were throwing at each other. And it was a riot, you know, it was a lot of fun. This year, I'm having a potluck, and I'm invited the neighbors. And my daughter's coming into town with her boyfriend, and you know, God willing, my mother will be here as well, and we'll see. And you know, I'm looking forward to making a turkey this year.
Lori Edwards Tate, what was a memorable Thanksgiving?
Okay, well, first of all, the one that I'm doing this year is where there's a nice beach walk with our dog. Low stress, a time of rejuvenation and renewal, no chaos, and going out to dinner and somewhere lovely with a beautiful view and relax. So that's Thanksgiving this year. My most memorable was when I was growing up. The pride my mother took in making homemade pumpkin pies from scratch. Her daughter didn't inherit that gene. Beautiful. The turkey was a big thing. The stuffing, things made in advance, where there were my aunts, and I'll notice the plural, uncles, cousins, grandmothers and grandparents and great-grands. That was glorious. And I thought those times would last forever. So given that they don't, being grateful for what we have at the time, the people who are at our table at the time, holding those memories in our hearts when that is no longer there, recreating our lives as lives change. That to me is part of the whole gratitude piece this Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Lori. Dr. Mantell, one of the most memorable Thanksgivings.
Thank you, because I was my mind raced through 74 Thanksgivings that I've been blessed to be able to have so far in life. And I thought about when I was a young child with my grandparents and family there. But one of them that stood out was the first one, a couple of weeks, 52 years ago, wow, when Paul and I celebrated our very first Thanksgiving as a married couple. Having children and being together and being with friends, each one has its own unique memory. And so I'm thankful for all of those and look forward to, please God, 120 years of these Thanksgivings and many more shows together.
Thank you. I would say one of the most memorable my Thanksgiving, and it was kind of bittersweet. This is way after my dad passed away. We invited my dad's side of the family over and cousins and everything like that to our house in Queens. And my poor mom, she was like just working away and just working away. We're making sure everything, as the host or hostess, you do a lot of work. By the time everybody left, my mother and all of us, we were so exhausted. We never did that again, but we really appreciate the whole family coming over. But it was one of the most memorable Thanksgiving because it was, like I said, a couple of years after my father had passed. But it was nice bringing the cousins and the aunts together, and of course my siblings and the nieces and nephews. So, James, what is one of your most memorable Thanksgivings?
Okay, we toward the end of the show, but my most memorable Thanksgiving was when you took me to New York to meet you, just before we was married, to meet your family, and we had such a great time because they asked a lot of questions. They asked, when are you going to marry my daughter, or whatever that is. It's like it was so many questions that was asked, and I'm just sitting there like, okay.
It's the first time I've ever seen James speechless. He was so quiet during the visit. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so quiet? Yes, Mrs. Freeman. I was like, talk.
I tell you, we got to end this now. This has been such a tremendous show, and I want to just thank each and every last one of you panelists for taking the time out your schedule to join us today. This show, where Thursday, Thanksgiving, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So I want to thank each and every last one of you for joining. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely wonderful show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show every day. Remember, dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Yes, your life. We'll see you then.